Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are we doing, bees? Are we good? Are we good? Are we feeling good? It is Thursday. Happy Thursday to you all. Who is first past the post this morning? Carrie Davies, good morning. How are you? If you are watching along this morning, let yourselves be known. Holler at us in the comments. Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with your host. I am the Queen Bee, Dani Wallace. I know it was a bold statement to make, but still. If we can't say it about ourselves, who can we say it about? So we are on day 4 of the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge. Tomorrow's show is going to be all about celebrating the people that have taken part in the challenge. Yesterday, I set some work to go live, and some of the people who were joining in with the challenge had never ever been live before and had started to go live from yesterday and the day before, and they said the challenge has been game changing for them. It's going to change up their business, and that's just the challenge. I'm so excited. If you are around tonight at 8 p.m. I want you to come and join me here on the Queen Bee Dani page. I've got a free workshop for all of you tonight, so not just for the challenges, for every single one of you. As a bit of a kind of a give back, I want to share with you my top 10 tips for speaking, to try and get as many of you speaking about your businesses as possible. The challenge week has been phenomenal. We've laughed and we've cried and we've done all that kind of stuff. It has been amazing. There've been breakthroughs, and I could just see how it's going to help so many of the people. Just shy 300 people involved in this challenge. It has been amazing. More on that a little bit later. First off, what I want to get us to grips with this morning, and I'm going to forego the weather this morning, because this week, this is October the 1st. Happy October. Probably one of my favourite months of the year, if I'm honest. It's just all a bit autumnal, isn't it? So we get the jumpers out, we start to get the slippers out, and we start to snuggle up of an evening. But this month, October, is Black History Month, and today is Share the Mic Day. Now, one of my incredible friends, Sam Adams, got in touch with me yesterday. She was like, Dani, what are you doing for this? I was like, I'm a terrible person. We're not doing anything yet. We're going to work it out. So what the intention is, in honor of celebrating Black History Month, as best I can, I am looking for all of you incredible members of the Black community that watch this show to come forth, get in my inbox, come and let me share the mic, come and let me share this platform with you, and let's share you incredible human beings with the rest of the world. As is right and bloody proper, that is exactly what we should be doing. We've got a whole chunk of shows towards the end of this month as well that I want to dedicate to you glorious human beings. Get in my inbox, I'm scouting for you, I'm looking for you. So this is your official shout out. Come see me. But in the meantime, we're going to share the mic this morning. Sam Adams, get in here.
Come in, boom.
There she is. Good morning. Good morning. You are looking fly today for a start off.
My nice little blouse on this morning. I made a bit of an effort for you.
I want that blouse. I'm like looking, you've got the animal print, they've got the Armani thing going on there. I'm like, girl.
And it's all from River Island.
Stop it. Don't tell him that. Where'd you get your posh top from? Could have got it from Boot Fair. Don't tell him. Got it from Armani, didn't I? So Sam, thank you. First of all, thank you for getting in touch with me. Because it's very, very easy and wrong to get lost in the melee of everything that I'm doing and not kind of pop my head up. So we've been in challenge week and sales week and all this sort of stuff, and I forgot. No, so what I want to do is let's put that right. Let's share the mic and let's put the shout out there for sharing the mic, for sharing incredible Black businesses this month, whilst we are celebrating Black History Month. Because even this morning, I've done some learning. We've Googled this morning, haven't we, Sam?
Yeah, we have. We're helping each other, babe. We're helping each other.
So before I share the little bit of Googling that I've done this morning, share with us a little bit about Share the Mic and what that means to you.
Yeah, sure. Well, Share the Mic is an American initiative initially, and I think they had theirs in June. But a lady called Vanessa, I've just got to look at my bit of paper because I never get her last name right, Vanessa Kingori, who is basically the publishing director for British Vogue. So she's the first I think she's the first female publishing director. She's the first black person to hold that role in the whole of the magazine's history. Herself and a lady called Stephanie Fair, I think you say it. She works in British fashion. She's a white lady. Vanessa's black. They thought, why don't we do our own in the UK? Yeah. So today is the day. And it's basically just an initiative to magnify the voices of black women and their work. So if you look at Vanessa Kingori, she's taken over Kim Kardashian's account.
Amazing. Today. That is an account to take over. There's some people on that account.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't I ask Kim?
Yeah, Kim, do us a favour, babes. Just let me take your account over for today. So it'll be fine.
I got next best thing. I got Joe Swan, chocolate PR.
Yes.
So, but there's loads of big celebrities, white female celebrities who are allowing black females take over their accounts today. So if you go on Instagram, if you look for the hashtag share the mic, you'll find it. So that's basically the initiative. It's just to kind of dismantle some of this systemic racism. We've all got to be respectful of one another at the end of the day and build relationships, and that's what it's about, bringing people together, really.
Yes.
And trying to do it globally. America have done their bit, let's do our bit.
Yeah.
And if you think about this year, it's been a shit year, it's been a good year. There's still lots of things going on in America. I mean in a good way, because it's heightened the awareness around how black people are treated. Mm-hmm. But it can't get the word out, sustained awareness. So it's still in the public eye. It still remains on the news, which is good, because normally
we're maintaining it. It's like a flash in the pan, isn't it? And it felt like that back in June. And you and I mean, we first became friends in June when you reached out to me after the big festoon, and we first connected back then. I've remained friends since, which is brilliant. But it started to feel July, August like it was, did Black Lives Only matter in June then? Mm-hmm. Like, when are we going to continue this conversation? So, the fact that, we're trying as best we can to still forge ahead, still come together, to still keep the conversations going, for us to make that commitment within all of our businesses I don't know how you feel about this, Sam, but for members of the Black business community to allow trust for allies and to start coming together, and for members of the white community to open their doors up and say, there are things that I still need to address within my friendship circle, within who I'm promoting, with who's on my lineups and all of that. And in that, allowance of that trust with allies, and with the allies turning around and saying, okay, well, we're opening this up, we can start to gravitate towards each other and start getting some equity back into the situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what needs to happen. There needs to be this coming together. And I'm not an activist. This is quite new for me. As you know, I said to you before, I kept very silent about being black and my experience with that. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't horrific, but it was there. Mm-hmm. I kept my mouth shut. Yeah. And so I'm educating myself, and it's really lovely, because we had a really lovely conversation before we came on, didn't we, about helping each other. And so for me, this year, Black History Month is more important than ever. And I think there'll probably be a lot of women or a lot of black people like me that feel the same. But equally, a lot of white people are suddenly becoming, hang on a minute, they're more aware of it, they're more conscious of it. Let's educate each other, let's help each other out. That's what it's about, surely, collaboration, regardless of colour of skin, gender, sexuality, all of that. But when one minority is being treated to the other because of the colour of the skin, something has to fucking change. Excuse my language.
It. No, don't. I'm never going to excuse your language. Like, you can bring that language up in here. It's okay.
It's understanding and respect, where everyone, basically gets the same freaking opportunity to succeed as anyone else.
That's it, exactly that. And so we were teaching each other this morning. We had a little bit of a Google. So Google is brilliant in that it will be sharing, no doubt, as part of Black History Month. And it stuck its flag in the ground this morning by sharing Ignatius Sancho. So we've had a history lesson. What a fantastic name! So this was a black gentleman who was born in the 1700s. So this is our mine and Sam's history lesson this morning. This is what we've learned about. He was born in the 1700s. He was born on a slave ship. So I want you, if you're watching, to go check this out, because it's a phenomenal story. I didn't know who this was. You didn't know who this was, did you, Sam?
No.
And he was one of the first Britons of African origin to be able to vote, because he was born on a slave ship coming over from Africa to Britain. His mum died, and his dad committed suicide because he didn't want to be a slave. You can understand this. You can absolutely understand this. Like, how many families must have gone through that. And then, so his, I say in inverted commas, owner, because it feels disgusting now to say, so this baby's owner, this baby's owner actually was a kind person, gave this baby to his 3 sisters, who educated him and loved him and brought him up to be just a normal member of society who just happened to look different for this particular guy. And he became the figurehead for the abolition, or the figurehead for the immorality of slavery, because he was just a human. He was just a man, and he was able to be educated, and he went on to become a composer and all sorts of stuff. So we're digging on Ignatius Sancho this morning, me and Sam.
Ignatius, I just love the first name. It's just wicked.
I love him. So yeah, go and if you have a message, it's all well and good me saying this, because that's not you taking the mic, is it? Let me shut the fuck up for a second. Sam, if you've got any advice for anybody that is watching right now, and we're going to share your links on here, as we always do as well, because everybody, you need Sam in your life. She's epic.
Oh, bless.
What advice would you have for the viewers out there that are watching this morning, with regards to this month? What can we be doing?
I think it's a bit similar for myself. I'm just doing a bit of work with the local council. My tagline is, "It starts with you." I think my screen's frozen. I don't know if we can still hear me.
We can hear you. You're fine.
Yeah. My tagline is, "It starts with you." So we're going to do this thing. We're going to use the front part of the tagline, and then we're going to have 4 or 5 words after it, which is ask, watch, listen, learn. Can't remember what the 5th one is. There is a 5th one.
It's early, babes. It's early.
Not for me. I was up at 5:30.
I know you get up earlier than me.
Yeah, I do. Get up. I've been out for a run and everything. So basically, just remembering, that it starts with you. So, go out and read something, watch something, learn something, like you asked me a question off air, which was lovely. That's all you want. I'm asking questions of my Black friends who've got better knowledge of Black history than I have. And it's just asking the questions and saying, you know what, I don't know enough about this. What can I watch? What can I learn? Who can I ask? That's all I'd say to somebody, is just go and find out a little bit about the history. Don't get your information off social fucking media. That's it. Come on.
This is my fake teleshow on social media.
I keep forgetting.
but in generic social media terms, where we haven't got people who are actually having conversations, sort of the miseducation of people via social media, isn't it? Where this is, it's a conversation that we're having. We're keeping it flowing and using what it should be used for.
Absolutely. And there's a lot there. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good things about social media. I'm on it a lot. I love it. But there's also a lot of dross. And I think when it comes to something around this, then maybe it's not all, stuff like you're doing, and my good friend Charles Wasmond is an amazing activist. And there's loads of that stuff out there. But there is also a lot of crap. So you've got to look at, just ask the questions. Go on Netflix. There's loads of stuff about Black history on there that you can watch. Loads of documentaries. From people like Beyonce. At the end of the day, if that's where you get your kicks, you can get it from Beyonce.
I get my kicks from Beyonce.
I do. I can channel my inner Beyonce.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just like I say, it starts with you basically. Don't just listen to your mate in the pub or what you see on social media. Go make a little bit of an effort and go and watch something, read something, ask some questions and learn something.
Amazing. Sam, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being a friend of the show. We love you. And we will see you super soon. Please do go and follow Sam Adams, the real life coach. She is pretty epic. Go on, have an incredible day. Go and do your thing. Go and take that mic today, sister. I love you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, my darling. Have a great day.
That was the incredible Sam Adams, everyone. She is an absolute powerhouse. Please do go and check her out. We do share her links regularly. She is the real life coach. You can catch her over on Chocolate PR. I'm going to be sharing the mic with Sam today. Shah Wasmond is going to be sharing the mic with Sam today, as we bloody well should be. Okay, so final shout out. I am on the scout for incredible Black owned businesses for us to share and talk about on this show. Particularly, we are stacking a lot of these out. We're hopefully going to stack a week out towards the end of this month and have a celebration. So on to our guest this morning. I'm so excited to share. Lenny Henry is doing a program about amazing Black composers that have been totally forgotten, incredibly talented, on par with Mozart. Well, apparently Ignatius Sancho was one of these composers. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I'm going to bring our incredible guest on this morning. We're going to be talking about the controversial topic of breakups and all of that situation and how this incredible woman helps people with that. Sarah Woodward, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being patient with us this morning. I am so glad you joined us. I know it's early. I'm sorry.
Special exception for you.
Thank you. I like it. It's like I'm the dead cheeky one in class and they give me little exceptions because she's nice. It's all right. She's not naughty. She's just cheeky. So Sarah, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do? Because it really is important work that you do.
Yes, I work with women that are going through a breakup and divorce and support them through all the emotional and practical challenges of their journey. Mm-hmm. So I do things like help them manage all the negative emotions that are inevitable, such as heartbreak, anger, betrayal. So I help them to try and get control of that and give them the tools that will help them to do that on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. I help them rediscover themselves outside of their relationships, because I think quite often we can lose ourselves when we're in a relationship. We kind of forget what we love doing, what we enjoy doing. We end up compromising. And then I help them gain clarity on what they want for their future. And my mission really is to help women realise that they can still have an amazing future, even though it's different to what they had planned. That's my mission, that, you know, it can still be a great life.
Yeah, it's because it's easy to forget, isn't it? Especially if you've been in a relationship for quite some time, or if you've been codependent. If you go from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship, when you suddenly sort of stand on your own 2 feet, it's remembering that you are not a half of a whole. You're a whole in its own right. But still, it's very scary, I guess. Again, for those longer relationships where you're stepping on the outside of that and you think, well, who am I anyway? Because previously I might have had wife head on or partner head on, and I was cut clean, you know, I was the housekeeper, I was keeping the bills, I was keeping the children, and now I'm not in this relationship. What now? It's quite scary, isn't it?
It is. I mean, your identity really, especially in a long-term relationship, gets entwined with your partner, and you do forget who you are. You think of yourself as a wife or a partner. And yeah, for me, I've been in my relationship, I've been with my husband for 16 years, since I was 19. And that was all I'd known my whole adult life. So then, we both earned the same amount of money, but it was the first time that I had to stand on my own 2 feet financially. You know, I'd always had someone there to fall back on if I needed it, even though I didn't. But, you know, things for women like, you know, perhaps having to get a mortgage on their own for the first time, you know, actually understand their financials, and also just remembering what they love doing and what they enjoy in life. I think, you know, we do give up a lot in our relationships because we want to. That's part of, you know, we do compromise. But it's just remembering who you are and finding yourself again.
And do you think, Sarah, in finding yourself, that the potential is not that it even necessarily should at all be the sole focus when you find yourself out of a relationship? When you find yourself again and you reconnect with yourself in that way, when you come through that kind of breakup, it actually serves any further relationships that you create, because you know yourself so much better. Would you agree with that?
No, definitely, 100%. I think you become more self-aware, you know yourself better. And a lot of the work I do with women as well is looking at things like their values and their boundaries as well, so that they're much better prepared to go into a new relationship. And if there was issues in their relationship, for example, if it was abusive or controlling, that they're aware of the red flags when
Yeah.
they meet someone else, so that they can get out of that relationship early. They know what to look for.
Yeah.
But
When the alarm bells go off, they can actually hear them.
Exactly.
It's because especially with situations like that, that's quite insidious at the start, isn't it? It's very difficult to, if you don't know, it's very difficult to sort of come to that and make those decisions and get out, because getting out of a relationship is quite scary, making that decision to leave.
It is. It's really scary to go on your own. And some of the work I do with women as well is right at the beginning, that if they're thinking of leaving their relationship, I can work through that with them, and look at what they would want to do to make it work, and work with them over a period of time, just to see whether the relationship can be saved, or then if they decide to leave, at least they know they're doing so with no regrets and it's the right thing for them. But we work on things like confidence and self-esteem, because it is so scary.
Yeah. Sarah, do people come and see you prior to a relationship breakup? So say, for example, if they're unhappy and they think the relationship is at an end, the partner might not.
Yeah.
Do they come and see you at that point and go, I feel a bit like a caged animal? I've had that feeling before, where I feel like a caged animal and I don't know the pieces to move in order to get myself out. Just let me know if you're watching at home. Have you felt like this before? Have you been in a relationship where you go, it's not going anywhere, I'm not happy, he's not even happy, how do I move the chess pieces to get out? What would you say to people that are in that situation, Sarah?
I'd help them get clarity on where they are, and just clarity on what they really want. And then we'd look at an action plan of literally really small steps that they can start taking to actually, get themselves out of the relationship. So there's an NLP technique called Mind Movies, where you can role play how they tell their partner, so that they're very prepared for it. Because often that's really daunting, especially if the partner wants to stay in the relationship.
Yeah.
So that there's lots we can do just to prepare them. And every session, the client goes away with an action plan of small steps they can take, so it helps them feel in control and empowered. So that's where it's quite different from counselling.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's the what to say. And also, if that partner that you're with does not want to leave that relationship, doesn't see that there's a problem, and it's probably because the other partner's been masking the problems for so long and just been kind of sitting in their unhappiness and sitting in this expected role of themselves and not filling themselves up, not connected to themselves at all, that the partner who doesn't really know what's going on, who's just been quite happy going on, will make it quite compelling and make a case quite compelling to stay. How do you know whether that is just a compelling case to stay, or whether it's work outable?
Well, I think get that through working through the client, and getting them to really understand what they want. So, whether they're things that could be changed in the relationship, whether they think it could be saved or not, and then try and encourage them and give them the skills to have that conversation with their partner, and see whether it is something that can be changed.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because again, there had been times where I was like, I'm leaving, that's it, I'm done with this, I'm over it. And then there would be, the other partner would make a compelling case for me to stay, and then I would stay, and then I would find myself in this
loop.
So this cycle of actually, I'm not happy, I'm sad, but I keep coming back to this, and then there's all the reasons to stay. So it's a real process, isn't it? So it's wonderful to know that there are professionals like you out there to be able to work through this instead of being on a stuck. But you can lose years and years, decades of your life on this loop, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I've met women that they have done it, and it's such a waste of time, isn't it? Life's too short to be unhappy. I mean,
absolutely.
You've just got to make the most of every single day.
So what brought you to this work then? What brought this to be? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to help people with this. This is going to be the thing that I'm going to do. Like, what brought you to that?
Yeah. So I went through my own divorce 17 years ago now. And a few years ago, a friend got divorced, and it just reminded me, just took me back to that time really, where there was just no support available. None of my friends had been through a divorce. I was the first one, so I had no one to really talk to. Nobody got it. I had counselling, which was great. It helped me become much more self-aware, but it didn't help me move forward.
Yeah.
And my friend was just going through all the same things that I'd gone through, and it just made me remember and realise that there's a niche in the market. Nobody helps these women in that situation, and just how hard it is as well.
Yeah, that's it. There's, you know, there are things like Relate for people that want to reconcile. There are, but for when you've made your mind up and that's it, it's done, it's over. And then also on the other side of that, that if you have been forced through a break, you might be the partner that didn't want to leave that relationship, and you may have been betrayed in some way.
Yeah.
Again, piecing yourself back together after thinking your life was one way and actually it wasn't. And again, that's my lived experience was I thought my life was one way, and then I found out actually there were 5 other women underneath that actually were in the same workplace as me, that they knew, and I was pregnant. They knew about me. They didn't know about each other. I introduced them. I was one of them women. They didn't know about me. They knew about me, but I didn't know about them. And I was pregnant. I was expecting. He'd philandered before, but I kind of forgiven him as I was on this kind of loop of kind of coming back to me, made compelling reasons for me to stay. We were going to have a family and all that sort of stuff. And I was in that really a lot of coercive control. But the plan for my life wasn't that. So when that happened, it threw out what my understanding of everything was. And that's a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah, you start. I mean, I was exactly the same situation. I was completely blindsided by my split. I thought, I was going to spend the rest of my life with my husband. And I was broken after it. It's so tough. You just think you can't imagine your future without them. And so you have to really start from the beginning and just change your focus on what you actually want, which is really, really difficult.
So, but it's almost like you've got this gift, because one of the incredible things that I found was as soon as I started to put the pieces back together, as soon as I started to create myself in my wholeness again, life got really fucking exciting. Sorry, I don't mean to swear, but life got really exciting, and all that fear actually on the other side of that was massively unfounded, because I wasn't beholden to anybody. I was completely responsible for everything in my life. I had control of everything again, and I had friends and people came back to me, and I had this whole life that actually I was missing out on for the sake of wanting to stay in this particular place that I wasn't that happy. I was just scared of the unknown and didn't know how to be outside of that space. But once you do, the Japanese have a practice called Kintsuki. Have you heard of it?
No.
So they have bowls that when they've broken or smashed, they fix them, but they fix them with gold conduit.
I've heard of that,
And they make the bowl, and once the bowl has been put back together again, it's more beautiful than it was. Than when it was just first a bowl. It's been put back together with gold, and it's been sealed, and it's been healed, and it's now this really interesting piece of art. And it always, the conversations like this always remind me of Kintsuki bowls and the work that you do. It's like you've got the gold conduit, and you're like painting it all back in and helping them put it all back together. It's beautiful.
Well, that's like my life after my divorce. I discovered wildlife photography, which is my passion now. I met a whole new group of friends, and I go travelling all over the world, which I wouldn't have done if I was still married.
This is it. It's so many more exciting things. That's not to say that if you are in a happy relationship, when you're in a happy, loving relationship, you should be able to do those things anyway.
Definitely.
The idea is when that relationship is happy and working and healthy, that you probably will be doing those things because your partner and you will support your partner to do those things. Exactly. But when it is unhealthy and those relationships come to an end, that's when you really can kind of find yourself. Sarah, how have you found? It's been a funny old year. It's an understatement. It's been a strange one. How have you found business during this time? Have you found yourself to become very busy, or have you found different types of clients coming through the door? Like, what has your experience been during the shit show that's been 2020?
surprisingly, it's actually been really quiet. And I think
Right.
that's essentially because people are stuck at home with their partner and
Sure.
children, and it's actually quite difficult to get things moving. I think people are feeling in a state of limbo, aren't they? It's just really, the future's so uncertain as it is. But inquiries that have started increasing again now. So I think, you know, now lockdown's easing a bit and the kids are back at school. People are having a
Start
chance
to see
to
the light a little
reassess.
bit, peek
Yeah.
round the door a little bit and say, actually, what's the path out of here? Because
Yeah.
actually,
And I think lockdown's been make or break for a lot of relationships as well. I think for some people it's been brilliant. They've actually reconnected and spent more time together, which is fantastic. And others
yeah,
have made them realise, actually, I don't want to
I
be
don't even like him.
No.
So what sort of things do you do in that? How are the different ways that people work with you? Like, because we get lots of different types of, I guess, coaches and people that work in online space. How do people work with you? Is it all one to one, or do you have group support space? Like, how does your business work?
At the moment, it's one-to-one. So ideally, someone would come to me for 6 sessions, because I think that's when you get the most transformation, and we can look at different areas of their life and actually help them rebuild themselves. I do want to introduce courses and group coaching as well.
Yeah.
So that's the plan as well going forward, and a
And
membership site as well.
so what sort of courses would you share if you were to share a course? So say, for example, you're the expert in your field with regards to this, and then people kind of come and check you out, and then say you have a raft of courses. What sort of things would we be in that learning environment? Because it's different when you're in like a coaching or a help or a service environment. You're finding out about that one person, and that's the first couple of sessions is actually just that offloading, isn't it? It's just that kind of getting everything out and getting to know that person, and then it's the, okay, here are the pieces. Now here's how I'm going to put them back together, and that's the process, isn't it? So what about like the different courses? What would they look like?
So I think like the first one would be for people that are actually heartbroken. So it'd be helping them needs to actually focus on the future and get them unstuck from dwelling in the past. So there's lots of really easy tools and techniques you can do for that they can then use themselves every day when they find themselves going into that downward spiral. But they've actually got a toolbox of things that you can use. Confidence and self-esteem is another big one. I think, especially if you with the partner that didn't want the breakup, I think your confidence and self-esteem is totally rocked. And then things just helping them focus on the future and looking at their values, what they want from their future, what they enjoy doing. Some of the other things I do is work with people when they're ready to start dating again. So actually looking at what an ideal partner would be like for them, what they need and want from that partner. So that they're not going blindly into relationships. Again, they can get out really quickly if this partner doesn't tick their 5 must-haves, for example.
Right, I see. So I'm just trying to think of like because it's such a big topic, isn't it? It's a huge topic, and you must have people of all different ages come to you. For people who have been in relationships for the longest amount of time, and then they've got to really refine themselves, and then people who are younger who's maybe thought that their life was going one way. Like I was very much in this position where it was I didn't do any of this, by the way. Where you go to school, go to college, go to university, find a partner, have a career, get married, have a baby, retire, and then die. And then they've got as far as the getting married or almost getting married bit, and they realize that actually none of it's for them. And that can happen quite young. And then there's that whole, well, I'm not following anybody's idea of a life path for me. What would you say to those people whose life path has suddenly not been what is expected of them?
I'd help them realise that's fine. There is, everybody's journey is different, and that's okay. It's about finding what lights them up in life, and actually creating what they want their own path to be.
Amazing. So what's next for you? What's coming up next for you, Sarah? Tell us.
really just starting to promote my packages. And I'm launching a Facebook group this week, which is called the Divorce Lounge. So where women can come in and get...
It sounds like such a like where are we gonna have? We're gonna hang out in the Divorce Lounge, but so many people need it.
Yeah, exactly. Just community of like-minded women that can support each other, and that they can realise that they're not the only one feeling this way, and that how they're feeling is totally normal. So get some support from me as well. So that's the next thing, setting up.
Oh, amazing. Well, best of luck with that, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. So that is Sarah Woodward. Would you do me a favour, Sarah, and pop any of your links into the comments so that we can find out a little bit more? I won't be joining you in the Divorce Lounge, I'm afraid. We're all right just now, but I've taken notes. I've got your number just in case. Thank you so much, Sarah Woodward, everybody. We will pop the links to how to connect with Sarah in the comments. But there we go. That is another Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show. For those of you that are watching, that have taken part in the challenge this week, I would love it, love it, if you would join us tonight, even if you haven't taken part in the challenge this week. The reason I say this is because tonight at 8 o'clock, I have got a very special speaking workshop. So I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 tips for speaking tonight at 8 o'clock. So I want to be sharing with you some of the things that I share with only my clients. I do this twice a year. I do this, particularly now to help people as we're going into the Christmas season. Where, if you've got a bricks and mortar business, or you've got a product-based business, or you just want to be speaking more about your business, it's going to be an absolute cracker for you. So make sure you join me here tonight at 8 p.m. I'm going to be sharing with you a special free speaking workshop, just to turn that volume up on yourselves. Come and join me, come and support. We've got some prizes up for grabs as well. I'm going to be doing a giveaway live that you can come and get amongst. We're going to be giving away some IATQB merchandise and as well some Amazon vouchers. So come and join us tonight at 8 o'clock. Anything else for me to share with you? Thank you to friend of the show, Sam Adams, for joining us for Share the Mic this morning. It was a pleasure talking to her. Do go and check her out. If you have a platform and you are watching, you've got an audience, please do have a think about reaching out to members of the Black community, of any minority community, and share your mic with them, share your platform with them. Let's get some equity happening up in here, as is right and proper. Have an incredible day, you guys. I will see you I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock. And I'll see you tomorrow for a celebration. We're having a celebration tomorrow of the Speaker Challenge Week. We're going to be celebrating some of our incredible speakers. I would love it if you would join us then. 8 p.m. tonight, 8 a.m. tomorrow. I love you. Have an incredible day. If you don't follow me already, join the IATQB Hive to carry on the conversation, or follow me across the socials at the Queen Bee Dani. See you later.